Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrado and Oceans.
Hello, hello, folks. Hopefully, I am a little louder this time.
We'll see. It said you were loud last time. It says you're really loud this time. So if you're not loud here, I don't know what to do.
All right. How am I sounding in your ear? I
Fine,
was. Oh,
pretty good.
great,
Yeah.
great. I'm glad I'm only fine to you. uh, what news do we have? Manga front, anime front.
Let's see. What news do we have? The Naruto PV that came out today was very cool for the
Yep,
Naruto
the
20th anniversary. For anyone who hasn't seen it.
the
Uh,
start of the 20th anniversary celebrations. There'll probably be multiple projects, according to Kishimoto. Uh, So let's see. I for one am very excited to get personally arrested by Shueisha
yeah, I
in
think that's gonna be how
celebration.
they cap it off in the final. They're
They just
gonna
execute
wipe every inch of the ocean cut off the internet and then haul
they
you to a gulag on live TV.
they just execute me on live TV.
Just John Shonen Jump with an axe.
It still has like bits of Red Hood on it.
You can just see
Looks
it's like it's got the covers of Red Hood and Phantom Seer like taped to it
uh
as he comes to kill you.
like John Shonen Jump wears a necklace with like the ears of every manga has axed. Um, But yeah, so the Naruto anniversary is happening. Bleach and Chainsaw Man will be getting their anime end of this week.
Yep.
So very
Spy
very soon.
Family has come back as well.
Yep. Uh oh, also I think I'm giving in to the bribes. I think I'm gonna get on Spy Family so we can ditch Witch Watch.
All right.
Yeah, cuz
I noticed you picked the one that is like bi-weekly on its good day. So
I didn't even know. I just picked the one that people keep bribing me about. Because it's
Spy
this
Family
one
is
and
very good. Yeah.
it's this one, it's Spy Family and Yozakura Family, and they seem to be basically the same thing. So,
They're totally
r-
different.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the premise of them is that there are spies and a family in both.
Well, that's like
Wildly
half the
different otherwise.
series. Okay, well, we'll see. But yeah, especially after this last Witch Watch chapter, I am eager to drop it.
Yeah, I'm so over Witch Watch. We'll talk about that in the Witch Watch section, but this might be
Yeah,
the X episode for Witch Watch.
yeah, we have our axe ready, and boy, am I hankering for some ears.
Join the ranks of Neru.
Yes. Um. And besides that, I don't think there's anything like crazy
Nothing
newsworthy that
official.
I've heard at
I've
least.
seen some rumors circulating that I think it's just based on the fact that its volume sales are god awful, but that Super Smartphone may be getting the next one to get the gut punch.
Oh
Um,
no.
so yeah, well, we'll see what
Yeah,
happens
well.
there. It's just rumors right now. I think it's all just speculation, but apparently it's doing quite bad. So
Hmm. Well, I feel like usually when something does well, you tend to hear about it quite a bit, even sort of in the circles of people who don't read it. It just comes up when people talk about Shonen Jump. Like think of something like P6, which we don't read, but it
hmm
does come up regularly with people who read Jump and who say that it's good. And apparently it's also doing well. Whereas Super Smartphone, I've not heard anyone talk about it after the first week where we trashed it and there were people swearing that they loved it.
I there's a couple comments we still get every week. It's like I can't believe you guys aren't on this, and it's
Hmm.
like I actually am reading it, just not on the show, and it's really not that good.
Oh, okay. Is it
It's
still
really
just
not that good.
still just Death Note but worse?
It's Death Note but bad, yeah, pretty much.
Which is which is quite something when you consider Death Note was like openly misogynistic and homophobic.
Yeah,
So, you
well, you
know.
know, this is just openly mediocre instead,
It's
which, depending on the target audience, they may find that more offensive, I guess.
I guess. Um yeah, I think besides that I don't have any news that I've collected. My goblin bag is empty. I don't have any trinkets for you.
All right, well then we'll jump right into it. What's your top three this week?
My top three would be I've forgotten. Um, but but I think my top three are
Did I even
my.
read it this week?
Look, it was yesterday. Okay, might as well have not happened. But I think my number three is My Hero. My number two is Undead Unluck, and my number one is Jujutsu Kaisen. So I guess I can't prove that I actually read anything because that is just my general pick
It's
these
just the
days.
default, yeah.
It's just a panic button. Ah!
Mine is pretty much the same. My number 3 is Undead Unluck. Number 2 is My Hero. Number 1 is Jujutsu Kaisen.
Oh damn! We liked My Hero this week.
We did, I know, and I even had it higher than you did.
Yeah, I mean,
Cesaro week.
I have my bones to pick with it as I do every week. I have so many bones to pick with My Hero. I might as well be able to build a new My Hero skeleton by the time this is over. But yeah, no, good chapter this week. So where do we start?
So we're gonna be starting all the way back. We're gonna be starting with Chainsaw Man.
I saw the panel on Twitter first, and I could not believe that that wasn't an edit. The fucking
The
don't come
to
to
school
school
tomorrow panel.
Fujimoto. What the
It's so
fuck?
fucking funny.
Uh, and it is.
By the way,
I
this is
do.
completely off topic to the actual chapter, but the edit of Denji telling her that he's Chainsaw Man, but they edit it to say I play League of Legends, and she just dissolves. It's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
They've gone rampant with that panel as well. Have you seen the one where it's like I fumbled some of the baddest bitches in the world?
Yeah.
Because the worst part is it's all in character for him.
Me and the bad bitch I'm about to fumble.
But yeah, this chapter was very cool. I'm very, very surprised, but also intrigued with the good girl character basically turning out to be very much not that.
Yeah, well, I forget, is Justice the same one from the beginning?
What do you mean?
The one
What
that
beginning?
she fought in the opening.
I didn't think that was the Justice Devil, but I'm not
Was
sure
that,
now.
which devil did that person make a pact with in the beginning?
The girl that betrayed
Yeah,
her, was
the
it?
shitty girl that she got obliterated.
Well, let's see. Oh yeah, it is the Justice Devil. I just
Yeah, with the
looked at the
Justice Devil. So that's interesting.
Mm-hmm. But of course, with this glasses girl, the Justice Devil doesn't seem to have turned her into a massive monstrosity.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We don't know what's gonna happen at school tomorrow.
That's so fucking.
Can't believe we're gonna
funny.
have a school shooting chapter.
You know, if one manga was gonna do it, it was gonna be
It
this
was,
one.
yeah. If anyone was gonna do it, it would be Chainsaw Man.
It would be
But
Fujimoto.
God,
Yeah, but also like the paneling when she reveals that she killed her neighbor, and Asa just like sits there trying to cope with it.
yeah, just like sitting there. I really like that page too, where it's like slightly redrawn because like he didn't have to redraw those panels, but he did anyway.
Yeah, they're all redrawn, all unique drawings. It's really cool. And yeah, it's interesting. It really feels like it almost looks like a film reel, and it feels like you're seeing this sort of unfold as a scene in film, like shot reverse shot. Which of course Fujimoto has always taken a lot of inspiration from film, and film as a medium has always been very important to his works. There was which one was the one where the dude makes a film? Was that Goodbye Eri?
That was Goodbye Eri. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the most blatant example, but in Chainsaw Man you had Should Bad Movies Exist, and in Fire Punch you have The Apocalypse is Happening, but I want to make a movie. He very much seems to be someone who's very interested in the art of filmmaking, and so seeing that come through even in paneling is super cool. I really like Fujimoto's output. And yeah, I guess we're gonna see sort of what's gonna happen at school tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Are they gonna fight? Like I don't know. It's gonna be something. That's for sure. We're going to
Yeah,
school tomorrow, basically.
yeah. She's gonna go and destroy her bullying problem somehow. Guess just kill a bunch of people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Yeah, and also just a very cool sort of upset chapter, like because with Fujimoto, whenever there's like set roles for anyone, there's always a chance that he's just gonna throw them out. Like this glasses girl, she looked like the character that was just gonna die helplessly and be like the oh no, she's dead. How could this
Kind of
happen?
like the
Kind of
almost like the Start of Darkness character for the main girl. Like
yeah.
something's gonna happen to her and it's gonna push our main girl into something bad.
hmm But no, instead she's gonna do a school shooting. Which, hey, that's a direction to take your manga, I guess.
Yeah, I also really like the beginning bit because we didn't talk about it at all. The
hmm
beginning portion where War is like he literally said he was Chainsaw Man, and she was like, "That'd be so stupid." He just said it, and it's so in character for Denji to be that fucking stupid.
Yeah, and it's his stupidity that ends up protecting him, basically.
hmm That's funny.
And I do like Yoru or the War Devil with how like for the first few chapters she seemed like this omniscient hyper being, but the more time we spend with her, the more she seems just as deranged as like someone like Power. Like she's just better at hiding it. But then you
hmm
get scenes like this where she's like, "But he said it. Why shouldn't it be true?" It's like you idiot.
And like the childish indignation at being called stupid.
Yeah, yeah. Very fun. Can't wait for the anime as well. It's just gonna be a good time to have Chainsaw Man sort of around again.
It is.
hmm
Any Fujimoto is good Fujimoto for me, but especially
Yes,
Chainsaw Man.
absolutely. Good Fujimoto out of 10.
All right, so the next up we're gonna have Chojin X.
Well, here's something we've never said about Chojin X before. Wow, this release schedule is making me really forgetful about what
Yeah,
happens.
boy, Jesus. I
Uh,
completely forgot that Chojin X was a thing.
yeah, they're on this island and the island's getting attacked.
hmm
Uh,
it's the My Hero training arc, but in Chojin X.
yes. Um, and I like the start where it's sort of like introducing everything. So it's like, oh, it's the Beast Isle, Sour Fruit, here's Tokyo training to fly, and here's Google.
hmm
That one was pretty cute. Um, I like their talk that they have about like self determination and being able to sort of walk by yourself and not having to do things purely because you feel that others rely on you or that others need you. I think that's always an interesting topic to throw in here because shonen as a whole is uh so reliant on this message of like collectivism that oh other people need you so you should just go do it, go for it. And I like it when they sort of contrast with okay, but that's by itself not really a motivation, at least not one that can carry you to where you might want to go. So yeah, I'm always appreciative of that whenever it comes up. And of course, Ishida is someone who's always very concerned with like the state of mind of his characters. So yeah, cool beginning portion.
Yeah, I really like the bad guy they're fighting too, who's just like really shitty at music, and that's his power.
I fucking love the Bone Zone. I love anything that has a bunch of skeletons being weird. Like, I, you have you played Dark Souls 1?
No.
So in like the very first area of the game, you can take two paths. One will take you to like where you need to go, and like there's a good satisfying difficulty curve, whatever. The other path, which is the one that many people take the first time, brings you to a graveyard with infinitely respawning skeletons, and people have renamed it affectionately the Bone Zone because you just get killed instantly by a bunch of dancing skeletons. And this is all I can think here. Because it's just skeletons reanimating, screaming, yeah!
Yeah, they're all just like standing around, like holding their arms up in the air.
Yeah. I love this. This is such a cool ability. Um, but yeah, the fight itself is a lot of swinging around, I guess.
Yeah,
Like
I did like the line, he's so tone deaf that it literally cuts through the air. But yeah,
and we get a
I don't know. The joke fight can probably only carry for a little bit longer, so we'll see. But it was an
yeah. I mean,
interesting
we
little
have the
chapter.
smoke guy here now, so things are
Yeah,
gonna
I don't
get.
like that guy.
He's creepy.
Yeah, he kind of freaks me out. He's freaky looking.
He kind of looks like, yeah, he looks super Victorian in a way, like with his like
Yeah, like Dracula
devil horned
vibes.
hair. Yeah, totally. But yeah, Shojin X is definitely a reread material. Cause
Mm-hmm.
God,
Gonna have to
I
brush up on my history every time they end up dropping a chapter.
yeah, on the lore. Cause I mean, the last chapter came out in August, so it's been a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny because in August it was almost weekly, and then it just stopped.
Yeah, and then it was just like, eh.
Yeah, which I mean, he can do that. Because looking back through the chapter list, it was also weekly in like November last year, and then he just stopped again until February. So it seems like he always takes like these longer breaks, but that would also mean that now we might have more chapters in the coming weeks. So we'll get knowledgeable again.
We'll brush up just in time for him to go on break again.
Yeah. So please, Shojin Xers, don't get mad at us. We're doing our best. We're rubbing our brain cells together.
Trying really hard.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the next is gonna be the elusive samurai. Mm-hmm. That's my. Yeah, man. I just don't. I don't know.
I mean, it's cool. The whole
It's
thing where
fine.
like, oh,
I
like
don't
he's
really
exhausted.
understand their plan because, like, even if they're like, oh, now it's an honorable one-on-one battle, like, why would that appease the guy's thing about like getting angry when you're being dishonorable? Because their plan was still like dishonorable.
Hmm.
So why would their plan of like enrage him, tire him out, and then fight him honorably, and then it'll take his like power up away? Like, why would that work?
I don't know. I'm guessing sort of a big part of the plan is also just to defeat him properly. To also, I guess, make that sort of a statement. But yeah, like, I'm so clocked out. I
Yeah,
am
I just,
so
God,
clocked
dude,
out.
fuck.
Is
It's
there any
also
other
really hard.
monk?
Again, I can't get into the 9-year-old romance plotline going on.
Yeah,
Really can't.
yeah, not enthralled by it. And considering that the entire like final half of the chapter is dedicated to that, it definitely falls a little flat. Where it's like, oh, go and love your lord, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
okay, I
it's like,
guess.
all right, that's enough. That's
Yeah.
enough. I do like
Is
the
there?
scene where the guy cuts his own throat. That's always raw when people do that.
Yes, that's very cool.
But yeah,
Um,
it was not
are
for me
there?
this week.
So there are spies. There's Spy Family that everyone wants me to read, and we can throw Witch Watch out for it. There's Yozakura Family people want me to read, and maybe we can throw out Mid Samurai
Hey,
if
listen, I'm
you're a
all
bit
for that
tired.
because I read the shit out of Yozakura and Spy Family. So
Damn, damn. Maybe it's time for some changes around here,
time
if you
to
feel me.
shake things up. Oh,
Yeah,
you're gonna get the
just in
people
time.
talking, and then we're gonna come back next week, and we're not gonna have done any of that.
No, next week I'm gonna arrive and be like, yeah, so I caught up to all of One Piece. I hated it. Anyway, moving
I
on.
hated it. I don't want to read it on the show. Anyway, I didn't touch any of that other stuff.
I didn't read any of the regular chapters either, so I have nothing to say. Everything you say, I turn into a One Piece reference. It's like, oh yeah, in Blue Box there's like romance. Well, Oda did real good romance with Glurp Shittington in chapter 7,000,002. It was really good the way he harassed women. That was great.
Oh God. All right, I'm moving us on.
Yeah,
Uh,
comments are gonna be fun.
yeah, Jesus. Next is Aliens Area.
Uh, yeah, this feels very major considering this is chapter 17,
Mm-hmm.
doesn't it?
Also, I just want to say, boy, the arrival of that random fucking guy they fought earlier is drawn like it's supposed to be this really big deal, and I could not give less of a shit about it.
Well, It's the second arc of the series. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like why are you doing this now? Also, like he wasn't that impressive before.
Well, if he had been sort of a recurring character, like, some of the JCC types from Sakamoto, which
Hmm.
like come up over and over, an entrance like that would have probably be cool, but it's chapter 17.
Yeah, it feels super unearned here.
Yeah. I mean, this entire thing feels so weird. It's like this massive, like almost war arc happening when
In
we're not
chapter
even in the
17.
20s. Yeah, when we're not even in the 20s yet. Like, my man's not even out of the danger zone, and he's doing a war arc.
Cause see, again, I'm so jaded. My thought process is this war arc is to try to save him from the danger zone.
Yeah, yeah, I feel yeah.
Like it has to be, oh, people aren't vibing with my we gave an alien a parking ticket today story structure.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
instead, I'm going straight into a war arc.
Yeah. Uh yeah, it's I don't know, I'm not vibing with it. I mean, the organization itself is kind of cool with like the different teams and sort of their need to like find ways to get around their defenses and whatnot. That's pretty neat. But again, it's all built on an incredibly thin foundation because half of the shit is not stuff that's actually been established in the previous 16 chapters. It's just stuff that they now tell us. Um, because like this A3 organization is treated as if they're the Akatsuki, right? Like this hyper dangerous antagonistic force. But they've done one thing so far in the story, which like yeah was a really cool moment, but I don't think you can like base an entire infiltration arc just on that. So
Yeah, I almost feel like this needs to be like an initial confrontation, and then it decides like escape from one another.
yeah.
Because like I don't know, it just feels so early to set up like, oh, this is this other bad guy organization that's been against us for ages, and now we're just gonna fucking wipe them out. Um,
Hmm.
there's got to be like some more to it after this, which maybe there will be. I don't want to like go so far as to assume I know how the arc is gonna end. It's chapter 17, but uh, I don't know. It's very wonkily paced right now. It's kind of turning me off.
Yes, it is. It feels unnatural with the way it is paced, and that is weird. Out of
Yes,
10.
out of 10. Yep.
Yes.
All right. So the next up is Mashal.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah, this was like it's funny because the end of this chapter is the exact same structure as the end of the last Aliens area chapter, and I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, who is this guy?
I mean, I know who this guy is. We've seen him before, but
Have we?
yeah. Hmm.
Oh, Ocean's Brain Strikes Again.
Yeah, well, not in like a major capacity. We have seen him
Okay.
before, but I think this would have been better off if it was like Harry Potter had come back or something like that.
Hmm.
Which obviously we can't do because he's off somewhere else fighting. But this
Hmm.
guy does not feel big enough for this.
Is
But the
this the
chapter
guy that
itself,
did?
I really liked. I really liked Lemon's moments in here.
Mhm. Is this the guy that did like those disgusting foods?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Brain cells have returned. But yeah, I mean the chapter was all right. Like Lemon had a cool moment. I did find it funny when Shugomaru
Yeah, just call him that.
uh
I don't know his real name. I just
yeah,
call him
when
Shigemaru.
when he instantly switched sides
Yeah,
and
well,
he's
it's
just
funny
doing
because he switches sides, then he switches back, and then when Lemon starts losing, he goes, "Shit, I jumped too soon."
yeah. It's pretty cool. But aside from that, really kind of a nothing chapter. Uh which is weird because I was when I saw sort of where this was going, I was convinced it was going to end with Mash waking up.
So did I. I thought for sure Mash was gonna get up and save her at the end. Like as soon as I saw page 14, I was like,
Hmm.
yeah, no, he's gonna wake up and save her. That's definitely what's gonna happen. And instead, it's like Amaterasu's sword guy,
Yeah.
which I mean, whatever.
Damn, Mash, you're letting another man save your girl?
Beta activity.
Yeah, that's not the Sigma grind set, is all I'm saying.
But I'm kind of hopeful that Amaterasu's sword guy is gonna win, and then he'll be able to help move the key to
Hmm.
get Mash back up because that meter is real close to the skull, which I don't want to have another 48 chapters of them trying to turn that fucking wheel.
Yeah, no, I mean, turn that wheel and spinning its wheels, you
Yeah,
mean.
just
Uh,
God,
yeah, because
please.
I mean, Mashal has been fun most of the time, but it really does feel like we've done nothing for the last like 20 weeks. It is rough. Um, which is really funny, of course, considering sort of how much fun we made of the fact that he announced that the series was ending and then he was like, never mind.
It
Like,
doesn't
yeah,
feel that way though. Like,
yeah, no, this really is the never mind.
yeah, he's in the Nevermind era. Like,
Yeah.
uh-oh,
Uh-oh.
they
I
won't
need
let
more
me.
content. Yeah. Yeah, well, it was fun out of 10.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, but out of 10. All right, next up is Witch Watch.
Um, get it off me out of 10.
Yeah, what the fuck, man? Why do we just this is just a random chapter of like this guy that's been in the series since chapter like what, 2? He has to have a proving himself chapter
Mm-hmm.
that means nothing.
Yeah. So like, okay. And it's a shame because I saw like the action panels and stuff, and I thought that was really cool. But it just reminded me sort of, okay, this could have been a fun like mix between slice of life and action, like it was at the very start, and now it's just nothing, and it just made me angrier, I
hmm
guess.
I did like the anime like wink nudge nudge joke though when he's like it's weird how many of them there are this generation and we know every single one of them. I thought that was pretty good joke.
Yeah,
But
that was.
the rest of it, man, real skimming material for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Skimmed out of 10.
hmm All right.
All right.
So R.I.P. Rich Watch. Next up we've got Sakamoto Days.
Which was fucking raw.
It was, yeah, it was cool. I really like this old lady character, and it was a good use of her to have her like show her how strong she is, or not show her, show us how strong she is in that
Mm-hmm.
long arc of them trying to just land a single hit on her, and now this
Mm-hmm.
person fucking her up is like real shit,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
even if she's got a little bit of a handicap, but still.
Yeah, for sure. But I also like seeing the filmmaker guy fight because he's so stupid. Like this is
Yeah,
the
he's
dumbest
I really
concept.
like him.
It's the dumbest concept possible for a villain. It's like, yeah, I just want to make a cool movie. Like, okay, Twitter user. All right.
I love how all of his techniques are like I'm just really good at with a camera.
Yeah.
You can't
Camera
move my
foo.
hand because I refuse to let my camera shake.
And then he does like, oh, this is a really good tracking shot, which is also a cool expression in a manga like this, with of course a lot of very cool like movement depictions and panelings. Um I'm also really liking Club Jam
Yeah, I
because
love Club Jam.
he's a fucking JoJo villain.
He
Like
is.
that's
He
a
is
JoJo man.
150% he's a JoJo villain. Like down to the name, all the way up to the behavior.
Yeah. Uh so his ability is like controlling people. I'm assuming to like some electromagnetism or some shit. So that's really cool. And is that the old lady like getting murked or getting injured in that final
I don't
thing?
know because of the way the blood splatter is. I mean, it's just looks like he could be stabbing her in the chest. I'm not entirely sure. Um,
Mhm.
it looks like she's getting murked, but it would definitely be possible. For it not to be the case, just based on the shot there.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's somewhat inconclusive, and I think that's the point. It's like, "Oh my god, tune in next week to see if the
Yeah,
old
to see
lady's
what
alive."
happens. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but very solid action as always. I am kind of ready for Sakamoto to come out of the woman.
I assume that's what's gonna happen here
Yeah.
because like the point of the disguise is done now. Like it's do or
Yeah.
die time. I assume that I also think that little glance there was the old lady like wink wink nudge nudge I know who you are kind of thing.
Mhm.
Um
Yeah.
so I'm
And
hoping that he's gonna fight the filmmaker guy in a minute
yes.
here. And
Yeah.
actually be out of the woman disguise and actually start fighting again.
Yeah, I miss Mr. Tubby.
Me too. I really like Sakamoto's character design. I think it's really good.
I like all of his character designs, as in both the chubby one and the thin one. I think they're both
Hmm.
really cool. Um, Also, does he? I just noticed something. When he goes thin, does he lose the mustache?
Yeah, I think
He
so.
does, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
So it just pops off and then it grows back when he gets fat?
Yeah.
Alright, sure. Mustache out of 10.
Mustache out of 10.
Hmm.
All right, so the next is Akane Banashi.
I'm kind of shocked that we're sticking with this 8-month time skip.
Yeah, without a whole lot of fanfare, because doesn't that essentially, she graduated high school in that time, right?
I don't know. She might be in like her holidays or something. Uh, and I mean, I guess
I
it's
mean,
sort
eight
of
months is a long time though, because she was in her final year, wasn't she?
was she, yeah, she might have been.
I'm pretty sure she's in her final year of school, so an 8-month time skip would put her as out of high school now,
Mhm.
which I guess makes sense if she's gonna go like study here for a long time.
True. It's kind of crazy, but at the same time, I guess it just comes down to the fact that the author assumes that the school stuff really isn't important to like the
Yeah, like it's
Rakugo
just,
storyline,
hmm
which I'm not sure I entirely agree with that because I definitely think if she has graduated school, we should get like a scene with her teacher, sort of
Yeah, it feels a
goodbye.
little strange to make the teacher such a big part of that final arc there, but she may come back,
Yeah,
just like to visit or something. But I do think it would have been nice to have like a little moment between them where it was like, you know, that mutual respect being there would be nice. But it was fine.
yeah, and I mean, this is all assuming that she has actually graduated high
Yeah,
school and
that's just
isn't
my
like,
assumption based on the time.
yeah,
Because I recall that conversation about the form that she needed signed, basically being like, "Oh, you're about to graduate. When you're done, we need us to sign off on this shit."
hmm
And an 8-month time skip is basically an entire school year. So
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Japanese school years have like another wrinkle to them that we're just not getting.
maybe, yeah,
Um,
I don't know that much about the Japanese schooling system, but
What? You've never gone to school in
not
Japan?
not in Japan.
Damn. Me neither.
I do like the callback as well that people are like, because they kind of mentioned it in the last chapter where like she's gonna get scapegoated by a lot of people's hate of the old man just because she won basically.
Hmm.
And I like how that came back up here. And I also kind of like that the comedian guy noticed and was like, that's pretty shitty of you.
Hmm.
I like
Yeah.
the comedian guy. I'm glad he's back.
That, and I also like Akane's expression when she gets slighted by the older guy.
Yes, that's a very like a really good expression.
Yeah, like
I
a
was
very
gonna say a
shonen
very
sort of.
expressive expression, which defeated the point of calling it that. But it's a good
That's
panel.
fine. Yeah, it's just such a good like. In a way, it reminds me of like Jiraiya's expressions from Naruto, very sort of theatrical, sort of. You talking to me? It's very cool. Which of course makes sense because Jiraiya was himself a parody of a lot of Japanese theater, not Rakugo specifically,
Hmm.
but still sort of Japanese theatrics. Um, and yeah, no, I really like this chapter. I'm excited to see what else they'll make us care about that we don't even know yet.
I know, right? That's what this
Next week we'll be
series is for, making me
next week
like
we'll be
things that I didn't know
screaming.
existed at the time.
Yeah, next week we'll be screaming rawness and swag over like drumming techniques for like Rakugo behind the scenes.
I'm here for it though.
Yeah, for sure. We have our Pompadour antagonist. Yeah, it's on.
We've come full circle, back into shonen territory.
Next chapter, Akane pulls a gun. My ancient Rakugo technique. Isn't it great how any story can be turned hilarious by just saying, and then they pulled out a gun?
It is. I don't know what it is, but any story in which a gun is drawn without any reason, for no like out of nowhere, it's funny.
That Toji panel.
That Toji panel is one of my favorite panels in maybe anything. where he's just pulls a gun. He's like, "Hey, take it easy." He just starts shooting.
Just pulls a gun at a dragon. I mean, a lot of these stories would be infinitely easier if people just had a gun.
That's very true.
Like, one of my favorite things about My Hero currently is just imagining, what if no one ever tried just shooting Shigaraki?
I
Like,
mean,
I mean,
you feel
they
like
did.
they should have by now, but there's definitely a period of time where I feel like a gun would have done the job.
Well, it did in the USJ because Mr. Snipe fucked him up.
Yeah, he shot
Like,
him like a bunch of times. Just take him out, bro. You could have, man. It's all his fault we're here.
yeah, I don't know. He was like, "Oh yeah, we got to take him in for questioning." Like, no, go for the fucking head.
This guy's dissolving children. Take him out.
Oh, but no, like, especially current Shigaraki. Can you imagine? Like, someone accidentally shoots at him and he just dies, and they're like, "We could have done this the entire time."
Just goes down immediately.
Yeah,
The dude who tanked 4 nuclear bombs.
yeah. Like, no, my only weakness, small caliber bullets.
My skin is impenetrable, but only to high caliber rounds.
I mean, it's like oh god, I don't know chemistry anymore, but that water combination where, like, if you punch it, it's solid, but you can stick your finger in it slowly and it's just liquid. It's that concept of, like, surface tension.
I don't know anything about chemistry. I would
You
not
don't know
break bad very well.
you don't know anything about sticking your finger slowly into Shigaraki? Good for you.
Can't say that I do, unfortunately.
You don't read enough fan fictions, my boy. We need to get you on a tour around the archive of our own, or whatever that shit's called.
Yeah, I can't imagine anything that'll make me like My Hero more than reading fucking fanfics of it.
Hey, some people only read the story through that.
I've noticed.
Yeah. All right. This has not been about Akane Banashi for like
No,
5 minutes.
we've drifted.
Yeah, Akane's good. Akane's
Mhm.
good.
Quality
Good.
manga out of 10.
Best
Next
girl
up
in Jump.
is Ginka and Luna.
So they didn't skip past all the interesting stuff, so that's good.
They skip past some of it though.
Well, yeah, but we get like a flashback for it. Like when the guy explains like the caves and everything. I like that. That shit was cool.
I still
Um,
wish when they would fight, they would like do so in a way that was conducive to following the fight. Like, oh man, all these rock crabs. Oh, I killed all of them in one page.
that is true.
I killed all of them in fucking one page, and now here's all of their bodies. Look how awesome I am. All right, let's continue. Like,
Yeah.
it would be kind of nice to maybe see one of them bust out like a cool magic ability or something that expands on the power system a little. Because as much as I like the whole like, oh, with magic you can just fucking do whatever. Because I mean, yeah, you can. It would still be nice to maybe have some structure to follow
Yeah.
around.
Yeah, because currently it just feels like, yeah, they can literally do whatever, and there's no like conditions, there's no interesting like interplays.
Yeah, well,
And
because
it
it's
is
like,
very early.
how am I supposed to take shit as a threat if they're just like, oh, I have magic and that lets me do whatever. Okay, I've defeated the enemy in one page.
My magic is I just think about winning and I've won.
My magic is I just pull out a gun.
It's like, Luna, listen here, this is the most important lesson.
The most important lesson, make sure the safety's off.
Always leave the safety off. It's for pussies. This is not real gun advice. Do not
No,
use
do
this.
not take anything that we say about this.
No.
Don't listen to us about this.
Safety off. Trigger finger extended whenever you don't think you're gonna need it. Which, honestly, if you're listening to this podcast, let's be real, you're not gonna need
You're
it.
never gonna need it, yeah.
No. Give all your guns to me.
Oh God.
I am pro gun control, as in I want myself to control all of them. Please don't use this in court against me. Shueisha, when you inevitably sue me for the ocean cut.
You're really digging yourself a hole right now.
Uh, well, I'm already an internationally wanted criminal,
That's true.
so and we're never gonna elaborate on that.
It's funny
I
because
just
it's actually true, and we're never gonna explain further.
It is actually true, and I need paperwork for it in order to be able to travel. It is the dumbest shit, but we're never gonna elaborate on it. But we promise you it's true. Anyway, Ginkan Hluna, it was fine,
Yeah,
but I'm still not into it too much.
yeah. It's one of those things where I feel like it has the potential to be something really good, but it's just really not doing it for me right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see where it
Yeah.
goes. Next is Blue Box.
Getting a little horny in here, isn't it?
Getting a little horny, yeah, real quick. Also, boy, this is a really cliche way to make him have to hurt their feelings when he inevitably doesn't say either one.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been in this exact position a few times now, where it's like, oh no, a trope, and then it plays it kind of straight, but then it's okay in the end,
Yeah,
mostly.
my worry is that, at least to me, I'm hope that I'm wrong, but I find it extremely predictable that he is not going to pick either one here.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna say some stupid shit that's vague and inconsequential, and both girls are gonna be like huff, and that's gonna be it.
Mm-hmm.
Like the odds of him saying Chinatsu here, I feel are near zero.
Mm-hmm.
And I would be very surprised if the series was like, oh, he's just gonna pick Hina right now. And I assume the next chapter is gonna be like the girl, because she's all like cocky right now. That like, haha,
Mm-hmm.
I've done it. I've orchestrated the scenario to force him to say Hina, and he's not gonna do it. And the next chapter is gonna be her giving him shit about it, and then he's gonna talk to her about Chinatsu or something.
Mm-hmm.
But
Uh, yeah.
it just feels
Also,
very like I already know what's gonna happen next week, and it's like it's not bad necessarily, but it does kind of suck that it feels like they're trying to give you this cliffhanger, and I'm calling it from a mile away.
also, I'm sorry. A camp like sleepover evening where everyone agrees to play the same thing and no one like leaves to, I don't know, get drunk somewhere. Highly unrealistic.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work, does it?
Yeah.
Not really how that goes.
Also, when Shinatsu is about to draw her card and just had that panel of Taiki going, "Please talk like a cat." Like,
Yes,
control yourself,
get yourself under control, little
sir.
freak.
It's not even like a sexual thing. It's just, oh, she'll talk like a cat. Fucking vanilla ass freak.
Just got very vanilla fetishes.
Yeah. Like, oh, what's your fetish? Seeing a woman in public? Whoa. I feel like, yeah, if this is ever used against me in court, I'm done for.
Yeah,
Actually, no.
you're in trouble.
No. I might not be, because I might be able to plead for insanity.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Nobody who's read Witch Watch this long is entirely sane.
Zen, if they call you to ask about my sanity, will you tell them that I'm insane and psychotic, please?
Absolutely. I won't even
Thank
be
you.
lying.
Thank you. I love you too. um. Anyway, Blue Box was fun this week. We talked about it for 2 seconds.
Yeah. Well, there wasn't that much to it. I am curious as to why Haruo is flat out refusing to help Taiki anymore. I hope that comes up beyond just like now, because it's been in 2 chapters now, so they have to address
Yeah.
it at some point.
Yeah. I wonder if like his relationship is strained currently.
Maybe like he's just in a shitty mood. I assumed it was going to be some sports manga trope of either like I don't like that you're catching up to me and helping you hurts me, so I'm not going to do it, and or you're growing so well on your own. If I try to train you, it's going to box you into my way of thinking and it might hurt you. Either one,
Mhm.
depending on how much of a douche they want to make Haru seem like. Um, but I don't know. That is the most interesting thing to me right now, is that
Yeah,
weird
for
little
sure.
dynamic breakdown between the two of them.
Yeah, because I think it could also be like a combination of multiple things. It could be that he's sort of like, oh, you're getting so far ahead of me, you're growing so fast, and at the same time, like, because his relationship is kind of predicated on how well he does in sports, because that's sort of a big thing for both him and his girlfriend. And if that sort of might be going badly, and then you have Taiki sort of threatening to surpass him, that would obviously create a situation where he isn't exactly happy to help him.
Yeah, I can see that.
Also, the panel where he flicks the other guy,
Yeah,
and it's
and
just
it's like
like
the giant impact.
it's like the fucking early My Hero, like breaks finger to do the air pressure wave kind of
Yeah,
thing.
it even has a sound effect.
Yeah, fucking what is it? Kapow! Love it when I flick people and it goes kapow. But yeah, it was all right out of 10.
Yeah, it was fine.
Mm.
All right, so let's see. Now we're gonna do which one everyone's earlier on the list. That is gonna be Undead Unluck.
Oh, bro, this shit's so good.
It is really good. Victor's whole
It's,
thing about like this is what I've always wanted, so let me out one more time and then I'll never do it again.
hmm
Um, fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Shit's
but then
wild.
Juize's sword rebellion,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll imbue it with with my rage against God.
And then look how
Ah.
fucking huge it is. Also, oh my God, she's been doing this for 455 billion years.
hmm
Jesus.
Yeah, it's so fucking raw, dude.
And it's gonna be Raw next week also when God inevitably beats the absolute shit out of her and him at the same time. Because there's
It's
no
just
way
like
he's gonna lose here unless they're like, oh wow, we did it, never mind.
we did it. Never mind. Oh no, the sword is the actual villain because it like feeds
Oh
off
my
of
God,
people's.
how crazy would it be if they kill the sun right here and it turns out the moon was the actual villain the whole time?
Oh my, that'd be kind of crazy. That'd be actually kind of insane. And I don't know if that would be bad. I think that would be pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, because I don't know, man. Ah, fuck. They really are setting this up to be like, oh, these are the specific superpowers meant to kill God, and that sword is goddamn huge. Um, I feel like it would kind of be in the vein of Undead Unluck to like give them this win. Like
hmm
the two of them end up winning this fight, and
hmm
then it turns out, up, you made it worse actually.
Yeah, yeah. Because the thing is, we've always just been fighting against God, and it's only in these recent chapters that it's been revealed that God is sort of kind of two entities.
Right, that
And
because the moon kind of says like, ah, the sun is pretty much what you mean when you say God, kind of.
hmm yeah,
But like,
but
I mean, there's nothing that really says that Luna is necessarily good. I mean, this is
hmm
all kind of she's treating it like a game too, She just happens to
yeah,
be on the other team.
hmm exactly. Yeah. So I guess we'll see. It is
Ah,
definitely
man.
sort of
All I know is wherever it goes, it's gonna be Raw.
yes, absolutely. It's gonna be so fun. Like Undead Unluck has this quality that I think Jujutsu and Chainsaw Man also have, where it's just like it's so confident in what it does that it's just effortlessly raw whenever it does anything.
There's never like it's not the not to get another legion of fans in our mentions, but it's not like the MCU style where like, oh, we're gonna do entire movies about superheroes, but we're also gonna be like superheroes are stupid, yeah, so that no one thinks we're
hmm
taking it too seriously, because then we might get criticized for it.
hmm
Um, None of that shit. It's all just like, yeah, this shit's fucking sick, and we're gonna do it all the time, and it always works.
Yeah, because actually, it's a good thing that you bring up sort of the idea of taking it seriously because in a way, Undead Unluck doesn't take itself all that seriously, but in a different way that, for example, the MCU does. In the MCU, as you said, it's mostly that comedic. Haha, can you believe that we're making superhero movies? Like, haha, oh my god. Whereas here, the lack of seriousness is not replaced with like a playful sort of tongue in cheekness, but just a complete dedication to being as cool as possible,
hmm
which is in of itself also not serious, but it's raw as fuck. Where it's just like, yeah, they're just fighting God now. Yeah, it is kind of weird, but look at these panels, dude. Right?
Yeah, it's like
Um,
this God is this giant sunspot man. And I'm
yeah,
like, fuck yeah, he is.
yeah, let's go.
Let's fucking
Oh,
go.
a sword artifact made out of hatred that's really not been mentioned much before this. Yeah, for sure.
I'm about it. Yeah, I don't even care.
Yeah, fucking go for it. Um, I think that's also why whenever Ununlock does something like really wild, I don't mind nearly as much as I would with like Jujutsu or My Hero, because it really has established that for this story, what matters is that the author's having fun, you're having fun, and the story is having fun. The
Hmm.
story is just enjoying being like hyper and crazy and sort of a spectacle. Um, so yeah, the best way I can describe Unknown Unlock is that every time they do anything, it feels like the anime opening should be playing.
Yes, that's a fantastic way to put it.
Yeah. Um yeah, very very cool out of 10.
All right, so then next up is My Hero Academia.
All right. What do you think of the color page, my guy?
Oh God, I don't even.
Just I throw you the curveball
The fucking
immediately.
discourse around this already. I don't really. All right, so I'm not huge on the whole. That girl is 17, so you're a pedophile. Actually, discourse around it. I really don't care about that at all. Um,
Mhm.
I do care about the fact that this is a color page in your final battle, and
Mhm.
we're actually in the final battle, and that's what
Yeah.
you choose to use it on.
Yeah.
Like,
That and also I don't know. Like I also don't agree that oh you make this or you look at this and you're a pedophile. I don't think that's quite accurate. But I do think going out of your way to do this to this degree, like I mean she's naked, uh in your final arc where you have a billion other things to show off, it's definitely weird. It's definitely weirdo behavior. Right?
yeah, so I struggle with like caring that much about it. I'm gonna get so much shit about this in this, but like for me, when it comes down to it, I don't really care what people do inside their own heads or whatever, or what you want to do when you draw things. And with anime characters, it's so fucking hard with like, because you look at a character like Trish and she's what, 14 years old,
Mhm.
supposedly,
15.
15. And then,
Mhm.
you'll have characters like, oh, actually, she's 900,000 billion years old, but she looks like she's 6. And I find one
Mhm.
of those two things way more problematic than the other one. And
Yeah.
it's not the Trish one. So
Mhm.
I don't really care too much. Like, the Invisible Girl does not look like she's 9. And so
Yeah.
it's a little weird, but not weird enough to get my alarm bells blaring. But
Mhm.
why you would choose to do this here right now for and in a series where that's not ever really the thing, like this just feels very tonally weird for this series of all things. Like,
Right. And it's also I think to me I wouldn't care if this was I guess less explicit because with things like Momo or like other characters like Midnight or whatever. Sure, the author specifically made up excuses so that he could show them off, but it's sort of like okay, it's not really the focus. And while complaints about that are very valid in my opinion, you're never really forced into dealing with that. Whereas here,
right.
bam, first page, it's just the single most explicit image he has ever drawn.
It's also
I'm
weird
pretty
because he
sure.
has a lot of adult women in this series.
Right? Just put Mirko in there with like no legs and no arms.
Like, you don't even have to draw Mirko as an amputee. You could just do Mirko's normal design. Or
Yeah.
like,
Would have
fuck, Nana's in this chapter. Just put Nana right there.
actually Mirko would have worked even better because Mirko was in the anime episode that came out this weekend.
Yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah, it's like you have a lot of characters where there would have been no discourse around this at all, and you
mhm.
didn't pick one, which feels weird.
Yeah, like that's the part that feels weird to me, right? It's not that oh, this is like such a horrible like alarm bell moment, but more sort of you have all of these options and all these other things you could show off. Like even if you want to do like a sexy color page, you have so many other characters you could do it with, but you choose the fucking Invisigirl, who yeah is a minor, is one of your main kid characters, and so like again I'm not gonna fucking put you in jail, but I am gonna think that's pretty weird.
Yeah, and like, cause I try to think of like other images that have ever been used for My Hero that are like this level of
No,
obnoxiously horny, and I can't think of any.
none.
The only one that comes to mind is like this is definitely intended to be viewed hornily is like the one where Toga's like hugging Uraraka from behind and like she has her arm up on the side of Toga's head. Like that's drawn that way for a reason. But it's
Yeah,
not
and
even close to this still.
yeah, and I mean there are a few, especially sort of his Twitter sketches, which I think that one was also one. Or no, that one was a volume sort of sketch, but his Twitter sketches are generally more horny. But like at most, it's just like a female character doing a pose. It's
Hmm.
never just hey, here's them naked, and it's like again, I'm definitely not what you would call like a Puritan, and I don't care that much. But especially when you're this late into the game and you have a cast of so many characters and you go out of your way to choose the fucking 17-year-old girl, 16-year-old girl for
Does it
this.
also kind of weird you out that the specific way that he censors her is caution tape that says keep out?
Yeah. I was gonna get to that. It's
Yeah,
also
that
weird.
also is a little weird.
It feel it feels like censorship in the way a Playboy magazine might censor a woman. In like the haha wink wink, see if there's more after the cover page.
Well, that too, but also like the whole the caution tape thing with the words specifically keep out on it to me almost gives the air of like I you can't though because she's not old enough. And with like there's so much discourse going on right now, especially with Shonen Jump bringing back Nobuhiro
Watsuki.
Watsuki, and
Yeah.
it's just it's a weird time to be as tongue in cheek about it as I feel like that is, but I don't know.
I mean, ultimately, right? All of this is just a result of Japan not being that concerned with this topic or not as concerned with it as they really should be. Like on
Yes.
a national consciousness level. The good old story, why do Japanese phones not have the ability to mute the camera shutter, right? Uh at the end it all comes down to that there's just a very uh unfortunate culture there regarding especially young women.
Hmm.
And not to get into that because
Yeah, that's
that's a
a
fucking
whole can of
documentary.
worms that yeah.
Yeah, it is unfortunate and kind of annoying to see this play into it now of all times,
Yeah.
right? And
Because
I
you
can
had a
already see the
shitload of downtime chapters where you could have been doing anything.
yeah, and I can already see like the comments we're gonna get like, oh, so they're not upset at him undressing a minor, they're upset at him undressing a minor and taking focus away from the final fight. It's like that, I'm not gonna say it, but
I mean, I
that's
would like the color page to not detract from the story, I guess, yeah.
yeah, I guess. Next time show something cool. Don't show me a naked kid, please.
Yeah,
That's
something, give
weird.
me something raw, but not in that way.
Oh God. Okay, let's talk about the actual chapter.
There it
Let's
is. We made it.
yeah. Let's dig ourselves out of this. What do you think of Deku's final quirk?
I think it's pretty cool. Um, it's not like crazy, but I like
Mm-hmm.
the concept of it. I really feel like we have to switch focus here pretty soon because now we've
Mm-hmm.
given an arbitrary like Frieza time limit to this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know, but I really like the concept of like yeah, it can change the speeds of it, and now that it's been amped so many times, like you think you know it, but you don't because it's so much stronger than it was back when you actually fought it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a cool concept. Generally, I find my hero fights kind of exhausting,
Mm-hmm.
um, because God damn it, I'm pissing everyone off today. I don't feel like Horikoshi is the greatest like fight designer ever. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you think of like when I think of a really like well choreographed set up manga fight, I think like Sakamoto, I think Jujutsu Kaisen. Um, My Hero is pretty close to the bottom there. I feel like he
Mm-hmm.
struggles a lot with like conveying energy in like a kinetic fight, like his fights feel very much like a series of still images of things happening and they don't feel like they flow very well. That's not an issue that I have in this one, actually. I think that this is actually pretty good. It commits a bit of a cardinal sin in fights for
Mm-hmm.
me, which
Mm-hmm.
is a character giving you exposition about what they're doing for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Deku's little bit, it's such a minor complaint, but the little bit in page 9 where
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I have powered up the Black Whip with Fajin in order to do this thing. And I'm like, I understand that you need to say that because there's no way for the audience to know that visually
Mm-hmm.
because your quirks just don't work that way. Like they don't give you much visually to work with. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like there's 100 million better ways to do it than a character who knows what they're doing narrating. He's literally just saying it to you. Like he's even saying it in a way as if he was saying it to another person.
Yeah, yeah. It's not a convincing sort of
Right.
thought
And I mean, you
monologue.
like there's I almost call it like the Pokemon effect. It's a big thing in battles for me where I like any kind of battle, if you have to explain what's happening, you really shouldn't just have a character going, "Oh, this and this happened, which did this."
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Like one, you could have Shigaraki realize what's happening. Like
Mm-hmm.
that is generally the way that I like to do it is that it's done almost in a JoJo style where they explain what's happening because they figured it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Yu Yu Hakusho does this a lot with Kurama, especially, where a character will do something, and the majority of the characters don't know what's going on or why it's so strong, and then Kurama will piece together what happened and explain it to them. And like,
Mm-hmm.
I find exposition a lot more palatable when it makes sense in universe. So I really
Yes.
hate that Deku's just in his own head, like, yeah, I did this thing. I'm fucking rad. Look at me. Um,
But you see, I think I would accept it more if he was like, "Yeah, I'm fucking awesome,
yeah, if
dude."
he was like high on himself about it instead of literally just saying it.
Yeah, like a
Um,
fucking Dio monologue, like
Yeah, like if he started
Stangopala.
feeling himself, I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah, but like the that particular bit I didn't really care for, but the actual fight itself, maybe it's because of Black Whip, I don't know, or the way that he's using it in this fight, but Horikoshi, like the main fight I point at for Horikoshi a lot, where I feel like it's just a nothing fight, is Deku and Overhaul. I hate that
Mm-hmm.
fight.
Okay.
Hate that fight. It's just a bunch of still images of shit happening, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? Um,
Okay.
I always think about this one panel where it looks like Deku, when Deku kicks the floor and he shatters all the spikes coming out of the floor.
Mm-hmm.
There is like zero motion in any of him doing that. It's just all of a
Okay.
sudden there's a panel of Deku's foot on the floor and then all the shit's broken. And it
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't feel very fluid at all. It's a big complaint I have. This one feels very fluid, very dynamic, very theatrical. I love page 15, where you can just feel like the
The
spin that
speed.
Shigaraki's got and the speed that Deku's moving at right before the hit right there. Both of them so good. That and the final punch. Really, really good stuff. Especially from
Yeah.
a
All
series
right.
where I don't expect it very often.
Okay. Cool. I never thought about overhaul like that. I need to go back and see if I agree. Um. But yeah, no. What do you think of Shigaraki being kind of gone, but not really? As in, like they say, oh, he's still in there, but what they mean is just Tenko, basically.
So you mean what do I think about the actual character of Shigaraki essentially being turned into either All for One or his child self?
Yeah.
I don't love that because
Yeah.
um, even if you remove All for One from the equation, the trauma that the kid went through still happened to him, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
can't remove All for One from the equation and then suddenly he's like, oh, everything bad that ever like I feel like they're framing it that way too. That like all the
Mm-hmm.
bad stuff that happened in his life was All for One's machinations or whatever. But even if
Mm-hmm.
that were true, removing All for One from him does not revert all
Undo
the
that.
things that he went through and like the life experiences that he's made. And considering that some of the best character stuff in this outside of Endeavor has been like the League of Villains, and specifically Shigaraki's loyalty and like relationship with them, um,
Mm-hmm.
it feels really weird to be like, yeah, actually Shigaraki never existed, and he was just a weird byproduct of All for One being a meanie to this child.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as for me, I like transmission. I think it's one of the cooler quirks Hori has come up with. I love the fact that Deku has to actually activate it with his hands, as in like he seems to actually have to do like gear shift motions, as indicated by the motion lines in the bottom panel of page
Hmm.
12. That's really cool. I like that. Um, and obviously, I like what you already told spoke about the speed and sort of the callback to All Might destroying the Nomu in USJ because he
Hmm.
punches him exactly the same way. Um, and yeah, the ability to basically just change the speed of anything he touches. It's kind of it's again very JoJolian in a way, which I like. Uh, I am not hot, and I've spoken about this before in context of Fajin. I am not hot on the fact that this now, together with Fajin, basically means that all the time Deku spent learning the super strength part of One for All is now virtually useless because he can just
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
now.
because I mean, he kind of even says it himself before when All Might's like, "Hey, don't go off on your own," and he's like, "No, even though I can't use One for All at 100%, now that I have all this other stuff, I'm as strong as you were." It's like, I don't love that.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, by itself, I wouldn't have beef with it if it had been more of an elegant transition. I guess it again just comes down to the fact that Villain Hunt is a terrible arc.
Yes.
Um, that ruined most of what was good about the series. But I think my main problem is that we never really got to see him really make the super strength his own. We just very abruptly transitioned to him using Fajin and now transmission to simulate the super strength. Because we
Right, and
had
I
the
think
foe.
that's my biggest problem with it because I think a fighting style like this suits him better, where it's a lot of because his whole thing ever since he was introduced was like, I have a notebook about everything. I'm super, attentive to detail, and I know all this different stuff about all these kinds of powers. He seems like the
Mhm.
perfect person to be like, I have all these different abilities, and I'm gonna apply them well. But it ultimately just comes down to simulating a replica of just the power he already had, but can't use.
Yeah, I think honestly this would be improved so much if you removed Fajin, replaced it with a different quirk, and then the Fajin sort of super strength part of this would come from him learning how to use One for All's base power stockpile better. I feel like that would feel more earned because then also he enhances Black Whip with Fajin to turn it into Black Chain. I think this would have been, and this is mostly just what do you say, like a textural difference because it really wouldn't have made much difference. But it would have been cool if he had enhanced it not with Fajin but with Stockpile because Stockpile can do that too. The whole point of One for All is that it can enhance other quirks it is bound with. So I think it would have been cooler if Fajin didn't exist because it now that we have all of the quirks, Fajin and Smokescreen are the ones where I'm like, we could have changed those. Smokescreen's fine, though, in the grander scheme of things, as in it's not that important. But Fajin now has essentially replaced One for All space ability, and I'm not hard on that. I feel like, again, because that transition was so abrupt, I just feel like Deku wasted most of my time for the beginning portion of the manga. And obviously, yeah, obviously, he needed to learn the super strength so he could unlock the 6 quirks. But don't just delete all the previous progress because now he has a new thing to play with. It would have been better to like integrate that together.
Yeah,
Um,
I still think a lot of it for me comes down to the fact that like, fuck, all he's doing with all of these cool combinations is just simulating power he already would have had if he had just gotten to 100% of the super strength. Like,
the problem really comes down to the fact that Hori, bless his heart, he's not that good at coming up with cool uses for powers. Like he tries, he does his best, but I think All for One is a great example of how you can give Hori every superpower in the book to play with, and he will just choose the most bog standard stuff possible.
see,
And I
that's why I
don't.
really liked New Order and was very sad to see it go after
Yes,
one fight.
right. That was so cool. And to his credit, I think transmission is really cool if it gets like more explanation regarding second, third, and top gear. If we get like more flesh out to that, I think that's a great example of him doing it right. But overall, I think Hori really struggles with finding unique ways to show off his abilities after he's established sort of the base power of them. And again, I mean, this is an ongoing joke. All for One has everything, every power in the book, and he just does air blasts and punches,
Hmm.
right? His ultimate ability is just punching All Might really hard, which is such a shame because, for example, in the All Might Rising OVA, you see bits of his fights with Nana, and he's just turning buildings into tentacles and shit like that. Like that's cool, and more shit like that should be in this manga, but it hasn't, and I guess won't be. And I'm making it sound like a bigger issue than it really is, but it does kind of annoy me. Um, but the fight itself, for what it is cool. I am always here for raw Deku content that isn't like completely counter to who he is. Um, and I also like that Nana sees Kotaro in his fingers. That's pretty sweet. I like that the predecessors are like physically behind Deku in like the smoke,
Hmm.
and can like talk to him. That's really cool. Um, what do you think of the 5 minute time limit? Like, do you actually think that once those are done, those 5 minutes, we're just gonna be done with the series?
I don't know. Oh, well, okay. So 5 minutes is already like an anime meme because
Mm-hmm.
the famous Frieza, we have 5 minutes, and then the fight goes on for 4.5 hours of actual anime time after that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I feel like it's almost just a fake sense of stakes. Like, uh-oh, now we've got to do it in 5 minutes because now I can't fight anymore if I don't have it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
almost feel like when you introduce a time limit like that, you have to use it, right? So I don't know if maybe he's gonna run out of time and then something else is gonna happen. He's gonna run out of
Mm-hmm.
time and that's when Bakugo is gonna come back and then they find a way to help Deku recover and that's gonna be the next awkward time limit thing. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think there's any need to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because to me, I've seen quite a few people go back on the copium that the 5 minutes are gonna run out, he's gonna lose, and then it's gonna be revealed that this is not the final fight. Um,
People are
and
really going hard on that.
people are going all sorts of ways with that. I mean, I've seen people try to prove that the original announcement isn't real or that it isn't like set in stone because other series had a more concrete announcement, but then you look back through Shonen Jump's history and you realize no, actually
In
quite a few
fact, they
series
don't.
just ended. Yeah. Quite a few series just had like an author's note saying it's ending. Um it's not like what was it, Bleach or Doctor Stone or both that announced their final chapter like months ahead.
Hmm.
Because frankly, you don't believe that Hori is planning things months ahead at this point,
That
weeks
and
at
also
best.
like again, so much of the marketing material has been like this is the final, like this is it, you know?
Yeah,
It would feel really weird to be like, just kidding. Like, not really. Also, if this isn't the final arc, I'm gonna be really irritated that we basically had a war arc back to back.
yeah. It's just gonna be sort of like, what was the point of
Because then
leading
we're
us
gonna
on
have
like
to
this?
have a third one.
Yeah, unless like the final, if like this hypothetical true final arc would happen, I wonder if it would be something much quieter. Just like the battle is done, everything's over, but Shigaraki's still out in the world or something, and Deku has to like hunt him down through other countries. But now, as I'm saying it, this sounds way too cool. Hori
Yeah,
would
there's
never
no way
do
that would
this.
happen. It's not a
Yeah,
giant, big, punchy fest, so it's not gonna happen.
yeah. It would be kind of cool though if like he did like a final arc, and it's just Shigaraki has left the country. He's in Egypt, and now Deku and his class and like a few trusted classmates have to travel from Japan to Egypt in 50 days. That'd be a really cool original idea.
Oh, I didn't
Uniro-
mention this on the time limit thing, but the introduction of the time limit effectively requires us to have a perspective shift here within the next couple of chapters.
how
Um,
come?
well, okay, because if we don't, then it's just never going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I've seen some people say they think that they're just going to off-screen a lot of it. I think you might have even said that at one point that you think that you're worried that like Aoyama's going to get completely off-screen.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I think that was me actually.
and I feel like that is actually very possible at this point because we've spent so much time with Deku now. Like, it feels weird to cut a perspective shift after he's like starting the fight. Um,
Hmm.
like I feel like a good time for it would have been after he appeared, right?
Yeah.
Deku's back. Now let's go see what's happening over here. Um, now that we're in the fight, it feels a little weird, but like if we don't start doing it, especially now that you've said, "Oh, this is the last gambit, like Deku's got to win with this right here, or you're out of options." Um, we have to, or we're gonna
Hmm.
start losing out on opportunities to do anything. And we know for a fact that Endeavor is, we're definitely gonna see him again. There's no way that Endeavor Davi finale is gonna get off screened.
Hmm.
Um, Uraraka Toga, I don't think will either. It's possible. I
Hmm.
don't think it will. Um, but I know that at bare minimum, we still have to see the resolution of what's going on with Endeavor and Dabi. So
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's a bit of a structural mess, that's for sure. What do you think will happen after the 5 minutes, like in universe? Like, what do you think happens to Deku's body with like the transmission? Does it just like destroy it? Because
I don't know. Maybe he just like, maybe it's taxing on his muscles or something, and he just can't like move anymore after that. He's got to recover.
yeah,
It's
because
gonna
what
be
I
it's gonna be something dumb that they have to like. We have to give Deku a full body massage before Shigaraki wakes up.
oh god, it's like yeah, he needs a full body soft massage. Quick, girls, undress for no reason. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. I kind of want it to be something very specific. I don't want it to just be, oh no, my body's giving out. Like, come on. Come
Hmm.
on, you're the guy who had to worry about broken bones, and now in this final fight, give us something specific to worry about, not just, oh, I have anime shonenitis. I'm coughing up blood somehow.
It would be kind of cool if
Um,
it was something like once the time runs out, he can't control it anymore. So it's just like starts happening.
oh, okay. Yes, actually, that would be really cool because the second did say that there's no telling sort of how strong it has become, so it could actually run out of control. So yeah, that would actually be really cool. Nice idea. You should mail it to Horikoshi.
Yeah, that'll work.
Um, but yeah, it was a cool chapter. I'm always here for some raw Deku content. I like the way he looks now.
Yeah, I like
With
the new look. It looks cool without being unnecessarily edgy.
yeah. Whereas Shigaraki looks like a fucking troll.
Still looks like a Yu-Gi-Oh card to me, but then people like it, so it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I like the face mask. The rest I could take or leave, but the face mask is cool to me.
Yeah, that is the
Um,
best part of it, at least. Yeah.
yes. But yeah. Uh, full body massage out of 10.
All right. Then that puts us in finale territory with Jujutsu Kaisen.
Dude,
This is really
are we
good.
gonna are we gonna get a fucking Sukuna deathmatch arc next? Is
I
this what
don't
this is
know.
going
So
towards?
there's a whole lot of, like, obviously that's been the talk of it all, is that like, oh, the only way to get Gojo back is to kill Yuji, which I don't think Yuji himself would be against, but Megami would very much be against. Um,
Yes.
so are we about to get like a rogue Yuji, like where Megami tells him absolutely not, we're not doing that, we'll figure something out? Well, actually, I guess the only one who knows is Yuji. So
Hmm.
like, because obviously Sukuna told him specifically, yeah, she means me. Um,
Hmm.
so I don't know, are we gonna get like a period here where Yuji's trying to hint to Angel, like, yeah, just you can kill me if you want to, without letting anyone else find out, and then inevitably Megami finds out, and it becomes like a fight between them? I don't know.
Yeah, because also, um, I'm just so curious about everything because now remember that Sukuna still has the binding vow with Yuji.
Hmm.
So if Yuji, even if Yuji were to like sell him out, Sukuna could basically just fucking run for it with
Run for it or
Enchained.
just kill everyone, because I feel like,
Didn't he say though he promised that he wouldn't hurt anyone when he
oh,
was
that's
in?
right. He did say I won't hurt anyone during the time period. You're right.
Yeah. Um. Also, I'm super curious what the fuck Angel's deal is, where it's like, oh, she saved Megumi because previously you cut off. Like, what? What does that mean?
I assume it's in relation to Hana. Um, because remember, Angel and Hana like are they're more like, they're like Yuji and Sukuna, but more symbiotic, basically. And
Yeah.
it's Hana that cuts her off from talking. and she does it in like
Uh-huh.
an embarrassing anime girl way. So my
Yeah.
assumption is like at one point Hana had a crush on Megami or something.
Yeah, that they like previously know each other somehow.
Hmm.
All right. So the big cheese is what the fuck does it mean to be the disgraced one or the fallen, depending on which translation you read?
Well, it's interesting because of the fact that Angel is the one who's saying it. So like immediately you get, your Christianity vibes here that he's like
Mm-hmm.
the devil or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
now that we're seeing other people who are similar to Yuji and Sukuna, because we really haven't yet. This is
Yeah,
even the first time I've like, could the other incarnated sorcerers have been like this?
I guess because I mean they do say
Like,
that the
could
other.
Kashimo have been talking out of some dude's hand and then just like switched? Because I assume that Angel and Hana can switch, and that's the whole thing. But
Well, I think the way I interpreted it is that all the sort of incarnated players we've seen so far are cases where the incarnated spirit completely took over the body without any relationship. It was just this is mine now,
hmm
and that's why they didn't show off any of these traits. Whereas Hana and Yuji are are as you said in a symbiotic relationship, in a sort of we both exist simultaneously, but the human is the dominant figure most of the time. And I think that's sort of the main difference. I think what happened with the other incarnations is actually very similar to how Toji reappeared in Shibuya.
where he just
Some
overwrote the sorcerer.
yeah, summoned into a body and being so much stronger spiritually that you just take over. Um so yeah. But yeah, it's super interesting sort of to see where this is now gonna go because this is such a huge wrench in the plan.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if Tengen knew about this because he kind of knows everything, right?
Yeah, exactly. Um Also, Yuji living it up in a bathrobe. Yes, sir.
Yes,
I'm
I'm
here for
about it. Looking out the window over the city with a glass of wine.
it. My king.
Absolute king.
Hmm.
I also like the
Uh,
combo bits a little bit, even. Like, I've seen a
yeah.
lot of people memeing about it that, like, she named him after Hitler just because she thought it was funny, but, like, that's not accurate. Um, I like the way that they kind of hammer home the point that, like, Jujutsu society really fucking sucks for women. It's not great to be a woman in Jujutsu society. And I kind of
Hmm.
like, you have the difference between Kamo's mom and Mai's mom, Mai and Maki's mom, where Maki and Mai's mom kind of was just like, I'm stuck. I'm just gonna do what I have to do. Whereas Kamo's mom, like, wielded what little power she had in that moment. And she was
Hmm.
like, I know that they hate this fucking name because it, like, disgraced them and ruined their fucking image. So I'm gonna name him this, and in hopes that they don't want him anymore so that I can keep him with me. And it didn't work out.
Hmm.
Um, but I still like that little bit of wielding whatever power you have in the position that you have it, despite how limited that it is.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I do still think Kamo really is the most divorced guy in the series so
Oh
far.
yeah, absolutely.
Like, just such a miserable character from start to finish. Um, but yeah, the Kamo bits were pretty nice. Also, I'm super surprised that the comedian guy is still around.
Yeah, I like that they were literally just like he bumped into him. And there was a
Yeah.
really I don't remember who did it, so sorry guy, I'm about to steal your thing. But someone tweeted, I thought it was hilarious. They said this like violent stakes of we have to kill Yuji to save Gojo or sacrifice Gojo to keep Yuji around. He said that it made him positive that the way that they were going to unseal Gojo is that the comedian was going to do it accidentally because it would be the funniest possible resolution to all of this stress.
It would.
Right, because that's his whole power, right? Is like as long as it's funny, it works.
Yeah.
So like him taking the prison realm and accidentally breaking it in half or something, and Gojo just pops out fine.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that would actually be really cool. But yeah, I'm just super interested to see if they're gonna like drop some more Sukuna lore as well, or if we're gonna get like a fight or something with him, because he really still is like one of the big mysteries of the series.
Well, Sukuna's whole thing in the beginning was that like he's a sorcerer that went so evil he basically just became a spirit like on his own. Not even like the way that Naoya did, where he
Hmm.
incarnated as some kind of monster man. He's just like a guy still, but
Hmm.
is so fucking evil that he's also a cursed spirit. So
Hmm. Yeah. And yeah, no, I think I'm all out of things to say. I think I'm very excited for chapter 200 next week.
yeah, the big 200.
Yeah, I wonder because authors do like to make big things in their seminal chapters. I mean, Hori fucking puts boobs in his, but
Big thing for him.
yeah, big things, yeah. Whereas with Jujutsu, I wonder what they're gonna do because what was chapter 100? Was chapter 100 Gojo getting sealed?
Let's find out. I'll look at it right now. I've already got it up.
Chapter
Chapter
100?
100.
No, it's Nanami fighting.
Yes, it's Inumaki showing up, Nanami fighting. Actually, kind of nothing much happens in chapter 100.
Yeah, where you get a color page, which I don't think we have one announced this time. So,
Yeah, usually I
oh
think feel
well.
like we'd have known about it by now if we were gonna have one.
Mhm.
But yeah, 100 is
Oh,
just Nanami beating the absolute shit out of the luck guy.
which might be better than boobs.
I prefer it.
Yeah, same. But all right, in that case, I have nothing else to say in Jujutsu Kaisen. Very good chapter. Very excited for next week.
I'm looking forward to it. I kind of hope we get a little bit of reconvening going on here. I would like to see Hikari and Yuta and all of them back with the group.
Uh huh.
Uh, and hopefully, it kind of seems like we've finished this portion of like, we've got to get points. And now it kind of feels like we can start moving on to the next step. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yes, it seems like we're finally done with like sort of the pre-phase of the culling games, which is
hmm
crazy to think about. That
Yes.
that's all this was.
hmm The setup period.
But hey, it's a big arc. I mean, this seems to be leading into a bigger problem than even Shibuya, so
Right.
I'm
And
I'm fine
it's,
with it.
Kashimo is also with Hakari tagging along, and he wants to
Yeah.
kill Sukuna too. So
Ac- Actually, Angel might want to kill Kashimo because
that's
Angel just wants
possible.
yeah, because Angel just wants to kill all reincarnated players, which Kashimo is. So yeah, Angel wants to kill Kashimo. Great.
Yeah, that's gonna be a thing too. Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh man, I need the next chapter already.
Well, see you next Monday because
Yeah. Oh,
this
that's right. It's a
time it's
Monday because they're not out on Sunday next week. God,
yep.
Jonathan.
We will get you
One of these days we're gonna get you,
one of
John
these days.
Shonen Jump.
One of these days, you're not going to be fast enough on your feet. All right, is that it then?
That is it for today. Thank you everybody for tuning in to this week's Shonen and Chill, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Take care, everyone.